Okay, hello, Charlene. Okay, welcome back, everybody, for our afternoon session. We'll be looking at Tong Primary School P6 prelim paper from 2023. We'll just wait for a few moments for more of our friends to join us before we delve right into grammar. All right, let's start. Okay, let's take a look at grammar. Question 1. Don't stop. Stir the sugar, dash it dissolves completely. Instructed mother. So over here, we're interested in a specific time period where the sugar dissolves completely. All right. So we are interested in conjunctions here. Okay. Okay, very good, Charlene. Very fast. Until is the correct answer because until shows a particular time period where you stop or you start something. Now let's take a look at the other options too. But is used for contrast and is for similar idea. While the word while shows concurrent activities. I am eating my lunch while sister was sleeping. All right, pretty straightforward question. Come, let's take a look at question 2. Alicia had to burn the midnight oil as she was asked to prepare for a presentation dash short notice. We're interested in prepositions here. Now, we are interested in short notice. So there is an element of time here. First option is in, which shows a position. The mother is in the coffee shop. I am in the house. Next, at shows a location. Father is at his office. With is for complementary things. So two things are together. Mother is with grandmother at the hospital. Under shows height. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to also take note. Share with everybody. At also shows a particular location or position with respect to time. As such, when we have a short notice, is usually to prepare the presentation at short notice. Okay? Now moving on, Josh will surely make it to the finals. He's improved greatly in the last few months, dash, said his teacher. So over here, we're interested in a question tag question. Now, we need to observe this thing here. He's improved. He's improved is the equivalent of he has improved. So if this is a positive connotation, then my negative connotation needs to be here on the blank. which is number 2, hasn't he? Now, I just like to bring everyone's attention to these two words, has improved. This is known as the present perfect tense, which means that the action has completed and the effect is still felt. That's why we use present perfect tense for this case. Okay. Now moving on to question 4. Timothy's parents made him dash home earlier yesterday to celebrate grandfather's birthday. So we are interested in tenses over here. Okay. Now, the next thing to take note is this word here, made. This is an action word, a verb. And we observe another verb here. So verb 1 and verb 2. Okay. So let's observe and discuss the options. First one is come, which means this is in the present tense and plural. Next we have came, which is in the past tense. Comes, present and singular. And had come. This is in the past perfect form, which means one past action completed before second action occurred. Now, okay, observe some. Okay, Charlene put number 1. Okay, when we number 1 for question 4 is the correct answer, but why is it so? Well, it's because of this rule called the verbs of perception. This means that when you have two verbs, the second verb needs to be in the base form, which is come. Okay, and that's how we derive the answer for question 4. Now moving on. The burglars left dash evidence of breaking into the house, so the police had to release them. So over here, we are interested in what is called determinants. These show you the quantity of something. Okay. Now, just take a look at the word evidence. This is also uncountable. Okay. And you can see that the police had to release them. That means the evidence they left behind is of very low quantity, such that the police cannot arrest them and send them to court. Okay, so let's take a look at our options. Few. Here, this is countable. I have a few toy cars. Little is uncountable. Much is uncountable. He put in much effort in his homework. And some here can be countable or uncountable. Some of my friends left school. That is countable. Put in some effort in your work, please. That is uncountable. So it goes both ways. Okay, back to the question. We are looking at a low quantity of uncountable things. So our answer will be number 2. Okay. Okay, I'll just give everyone some time to take in the information I just shared before we move on to our next 5 questions. Okay. Now, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section and we will answer them accordingly. Okay? All right. Moving on, we have question 6 here. Where dash the pair of shoes that I left at the door earlier? Asked Judy. So we're interested in a subject-verb agreement question here. Now we are interested in a few keywords. The pair. This is singular. I'm just looking at one pair. Okay? And the next one is where. So we are looking at the location of the shoe currently. So we are looking at present tense and singular. So our only option is number 1, is. Okay, so very good, Shirley. Now, moving on. Question 7. Sam, knowing that his parents dashed late from work, played computer games late into the night. First thing is parents. This is plural because you have mother and father, 2 people. Next, played. This is past tense. Now let's take a look at the options given. Returned. This is past tense also. Had returned. This is past perfect tense. This means that one action occurred before second action took place. Next, we have was and were returning. These two are known as your past continuous tense, which means that the action was continuing sometime in the past. Okay? So we need to be very clear. The boy, Sam, did not play the game while his parents returned late from work. So they are not of the same period of time. Okay? So definitely return is wrong. Now, you can see that Sam playing the computer games late into the night didn't stop when his parents come home. No clue for us also. So that leaves us with option 3 and 4. And because parents are plural, we'll look at were. Therefore, my answer will be number 4. So good job, Shirley. So let me just illustrate this on a timeline. So let's say this is present. This is last Friday, 7 p.m. So Sam played computer games from 7 p.m. all the way until 12 a.m. on Saturday. And Sam knew that his parents will come home from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. between this time period. And we only know it's sometime in the past. We don't know the exact time. That's why we will use past continuous for this question. Okay? Now let's take a look at question 8. Dash the recent fire at the museum. The learning journey was cancelled. So you can see this is a cause and the effect is here, cancelled. So we are looking at a conjunction or a linking word that can connect these two information together. All right? So first one is amid. Amid is an ongoing situation. That means something is still happening. So amid the COVID-19 pandemic, many countries closed their borders, for example. despite shows contrast. Owing to shows cause and effect, while regardless of shows that the criteria do not matter. So it's very clear cut that we're looking at a cause and an effect. So to link them, we'll use number 3, owing to. Okay. Now for everyone's learning, I'll just give a few example sentences for the rest of the options. Okay, 2 example sentences here. Regardless of, to show that the criteria doesn't matter. Regardless of your age, you can still join the party. So we are saying that the criteria of age isn't important. Next one, despite being ill, Ali still ran in the race. So we are looking at contrast. When you're sick, it is expected that you will probably stop running, or you may just take an MC for the day. But Ali still ran in the race, so that is not what we have expected. So there's that contrast there. All right. Now, moving on to question 9 now. Dash Suresh not use his phone while crossing the road, he would have seen the car approaching, Mei Li commented. So over here, we are looking at modal auxiliary verbs. Okay. So first thing is use. Would. Would here is a clear-cut past tense. Use here, you also past tense. Next thing is have seen. Have seen over here is in past perfect. That means the action was completed, but effect felt. So some of you may be very confused. So what is what? I have so many different tenses being used, right? So actually, you can just look at the focus on this first part only. Okay, my advice is focus on this first part. So which one will happen first? You do not use your phone. Definitely this must happen first. Then I can see the car. And these two are in the past, right? As such, we need the second action that happened in the past to be in the past perfect form, right? So this would mean that I will use had. Had Suresh not used his phone, okay? Now, I'll just briefly write the meaning, okay? Had used is past perfect. All right, and that will be it. Okay, let me finish the last question before I answer a yummy. After an hour of interrogation, the stubborn boy finally admitted to dash the vase on the table. Okay, so we need to take a look at this. This is past tense. But it's also, if you observe, it's an action. It's a verb. And we also have another blank here, which is another verb. All right. Now, with that in mind, let's take a look at our options. Break. This one is in the present tense and plural. Breaking is in the continuous tense. Had broken is in past perfect tense. This means that one action occurred before the second action took place. Okay, over here. Lastly, having broke. Broke is in past tense. Okay. Now, when you admit to something here, it needs to be in the continuous tense. That is, you need to have the ing. So, as the rule of thumb, when you admit to, you is always doing something with the ing. So, it will be number 2, breaking. Okay, what's the difference between who, whom? Okay, first thing, whose is who is. So this is separate. Who replaces the subject of the sentence, whom replaces the object of the sentence, and whose is possessive. So let me give you example sentences. Okay, let's go through the sentences. So who is used to replace the subject of the sentence. So you can see over here. The boy who is very smart won the first prize. So you can see one here, this action is done by the boy. So he is the subject of the sentence. And we want to replace the boy, we'll put it as, we'll use who. Next, the girl whom the teacher praised. So you can see praise is, so the verb is linked to the subject. So the girl is the recipient of the teacher's praise. That means she will be the object of the sentence. Then you can see that the whom here is used to replace the girl. Lastly, Ali, whose wallet was stolen, called the police. So over here, this whose here is used to emphasize the ownership of the wallet. So we are saying that Ali owns or possesses the wallet. That's why we use whose to show this ownership. Okay. Hope this helps. I'll just give everyone some time to take in the information I just shared before we move on. Okay, if there are no further questions, we'll move on to our vocabulary section. All right. In her youth, Siti was slap dash by mixing with bad company, but she has since turned over a new leaf. Alright, the first thing we need to take note is bad company. That means she probably has picked up bad habits that would not be beneficial for your journey in life. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the words. The first one is adrift. Adrift, that means floating on the water without being moved. That means nothing is like, you are not like the ship. There is an anchor. So if the ship is drifting, that means that there isn't an anchor to stop the ship from moving. Next is aside. Aside, that means you move to one side or out of the way. Next is amiss. Amiss means not quite right or inappropriate. Lastly, astray means away from correct direction. Okay? So when you have bad company with bad habits, they teach you the wrong things to do. And therefore, you will probably go off path in terms of your personal growth. So the closest answer that we have is astray. All right, so number 4. Now, moving on. The rescue workers' attempt to locate victims trapped under the rubble was dashed by the shortage of equipment. So over here, we're looking at the some kind of emergency operation. And this attempt, that means they are trying to do this. And this affects their operation. Okay. Okay, so with this in mind, let's take a look at some of the words. The first one is interrupted. Interrupted means you stop the continuous process of something. So like someone interrupts your class, that means the teacher is unable to teach and focus on her lesson. Restrain means something is calm and controlled. Hindered means you limit somebody's ability to do something. Subdued means unusually quiet. So in this case, it's very clear cut that they are trying to do something, right, which is to rescue people. And the shortage here, you can tell there is some sort of limitation that prevents them from achieving their mission. So the closest answer is hindered, to show that your ability to do something is stymied. Okay. Moving on, we have question 13. Peter exuded dash as he spoke, impressing the panel of interviewers with his conviction of how he could serve the school. So over here, you can see that he has conviction. Conviction basically means something you believe in strongly. Okay. The first one is idealism, which means unrealistic belief. Of perfection. So you think that maybe sometimes the world is very perfect, everyone is kind, it's called very idealistic behavior. confidence means that you have the belief that we can that somebody can be trusted. Excitement means that you have enthusiasm and eagerness, while persuasiveness means that you have ability to make somebody believe in you. Okay? Or make somebody do something. Now, when I was looking through the paper, I'm quite confused, or rather, I was left deciding between option 2 and option 4. But after looking at no, it cannot be idealism, because you could see that he could impress the panel of interviewers. That means they believe in his ideas. If you are very idealistic, people can already tell from the start, and they will probably not be impressed. They think that you are not realistic, not pragmatic. Okay, so looking at option 2 and option 4, both of them have that you are believing in somebody. But I think the difference is, for persuasiveness, you have that belief to do something, right? But for number 2 is that belief in somebody that he can be trusted. So I feel that we need to be very clear on the outcome of believing. Okay, because this will affect which option you choose. So for this case, the answer would be number 2. All right. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at number 14. Despite facing numerous setbacks, Dylan was determined not to dash to despair. Okay, so first thing is numerous setbacks. So this means that probably you will want to give up, or you feel defeated. But you can see that Dylan was determined not to give up to despair. Despair means sadness or the lack of hope. Okay. Now, first one is give in. Give in means that you accept you have been defeated. Give out. Why did you say give up? When you have numerous setbacks, my thought process is that you will probably give up, or you'll feel defeated. Okay? Give out over here means that your machine or body stop working. Next, give way here means that you break when something is under pressure. So for example, if somebody who is very big size sit on the child's chair, the chair may give way. Give back is to return something that somebody gave you. Okay, so when you have despair and you don't want to feel defeated, it would be that you give into despair. Oh, this word here, defeated. Okay, so yeah, good job, Shirley. Now moving on, question 15. The teacher was dash in planning the overseas trip to ensure that every safety measure was taken care of. So the idea is every safety measure was taken care of. This is the main point. Now, let's take a look at the options given. First one is vigilant. Vigilant means that you are careful and you watch out for danger. Anxious means that you are worried or nervous or you are unsure about something. Energetic means that you have great energy or vitality. Meticulous means that you are very careful. You have attention to details. So for this question here, I also had a very hard time deciding, is it vigilant or is it meticulous? Because both of them have very close meanings. Not forgetting, the question also talked about safety. Well, the correct answer here would actually be number 4, meticulous. And why is it so? Because the teacher is only at the planning phase. That means nothing has been carried out. So she's not in the overseas area, the overseas country. So there is no way that she needs to be careful and watch out for danger there. The next thing is the emphasis on every safety measure. So we are looking at the level of detail the teacher is having. That's why we will choose meticulous instead of vigilant. Okay. Let's give everybody some time to take in the information before we move on to our vocab close. All right. All right. If there are no further questions, let's take a look at vocab close now. So what is going to happen is I will read through the text and explain the meanings of the underlined words to you. After that, then we would go through each of the options below. Okay. So the first word we have is opening. Walking in the garden. A man found a cocoon of a butterfly. He noticed a small opening appear in the cocoon. So the opening here refers to a space or gap that allows passage. Okay. He watched the butterfly struggle to force its body through that little hole. So the word struggle here means a forceful or a violent effort to free oneself from restraint. So the cocoon, that means like that little shell, is preventing the butterfly from inside from flying out. Okay, that's why it's struggling. Deciding to help the butterfly, he took a pair of scissors and snipped off the remaining bit of the cocoon. Remaining bit, that means something that is still existing or present. Whatever that is left, essentially. The butterfly then emerged without a hitch. Without a hitch means something is done smoothly or easily. Or you can say it's successfully also. But it had a swollen body and small shriveled wings. The man continued to watch the butterfly. He was expecting the wings to enlarge to support the weight of the body. Support over here means bear all or part of the weight of something. Okay. Now, with this in mind, let's take a look at the options. Opening, right? The first one. This means a small space or gap that allows passage, and it allows you to move, right? The first one they have is to break. Break here means to separate into pieces due to strain. So if I say I break the biscuit, that means I'm putting pressure on both sides, then the biscuit crack, right? Next one is slot, which is a long, narrow slit to insert something. Then we have gap. Gap is basically this space between an object. Between objects. Okay. Lastly, we have cut, which is an opening or incision you make with a sharp object. So let's say you want to drink the coconut juice, so you make a cut of the coconut. That means you use the machete to make a sharp, use the sharp portion to make that kind of little hole. Okay, so in this case, we are just looking at an opening. They never say that we are using sharp objects, to create such a thing. So we will not look at number 4, and it's not so much about breaking, because there isn't any evidence that the butterfly was breaking the thing, right? Although if you are a science student, you may be aware of it. Now we only have slot and gap, but the thing for slot is it's a narrow slit. But you can see that you're looking at a butterfly trying to emerge, so the size of the hole must be much bigger. So the closest option that we have is number 3, which means the gap or something. Okay. Now moving on, we have question 17. Struggle. Struggle means a forceful or violent effort to free oneself. Okay. So looking at the options available, wriggle, which means that you twist the body in small, quick motions. Next, we have stretch, which means that you straighten or you extend one's body fully. Next, we have labor, which means that you do physical work. And battle. Battle here means you struggle tenaciously, that means very courageously, to achieve or resist something. Okay? So in this case here, it's very clear cut that the butterfly made a very violent effort to free itself. So the correct answer would be for this question here, it will be number 3. You labor, that means you do something very hard. Okay, we will not use the word battle because there isn't a very clear-cut goal of what the butterfly is doing. Okay. Remaining bit of cocoon, that means what is left, the existing or the present one. Okay. So looking at this, we have leftover. Leftover means something remaining after the rest is used. Then we have excess, which means the amount that is more than necessary. We have scrap, which is your small amount left after majority is used. And you have rest, which is the remaining part of something. Okay, so all these phrases here have some kind of percentage of something, right? But you can see that the majority, which is left over, there's this element of being used. But in this context of the cocoon is not being used by the butterfly. So these two are irrelevant. It's not correct. Then we have excess. Excess is more than necessary, but the cocoon is just a fixed quantity of fixed size and shape. So the closest option we'll have is number 4, which is the rest, that is the remaining part of the thing. Okay. Emerge without a hitch. Without a hitch, I mean smoothly, easily, or successfully. Okay. So looking at our options, the first one we have is easily. That means without difficulty or effort. We also have readily, which means without hesitation or reluctance. Gracefully, which means attractive and elegant way, and conveniently, which means it fits well with the needs or the activities or plans. Okay, so we go back again. We're looking at without a hitch, and something is done very smoothly. There isn't any delay or interruptions, right? So the closest answer we have is easily. That means without any difficulty or effort. Okay. Last question is support. Support means you bear the full weight of something, right? So looking at our answers, our options, the first one is bear. This means that you carry the weight or you support something. To prop something, it means to keep it in position. Next, you have uphold, which means you defend something or you keep the principle or law. While endure means you suffer something painful patiently. It means you never complain and you just bear with the difficulty. Okay. And with that, we've come to the end of our vocab close. I just leave this on the screen for a while for everyone to take in the information before we move on to the next section. Okay. If there are no further questions, then we'll look at our grammar close now. Okay. Having a dream is a natural and fascinating aspect of human experience. It is characterized dash vivid mental images and emotions. So over here, we are looking at the special characteristics of dreaming, right? And if we observe closely, is looking at the source of dreams. So dreams must have some kind of characteristics, some things that must happen. That's why you can say those are dreams. And the things are here, vivid mental images and emotions. So we'll classify this as by. Okay. Taking dash a story-like structure. So for this here, it means taking, you are trying you are trying to say that dreams behave or have certain characteristics, right? So this is your special quality or characteristics. So we would say you take on something, all right? Dreams occur involuntarily in the mind during sleep. Its content can range dash ordinary and mundane to bizarre and fantastical. So when we have the word to join the pieces of information, so this is information number one and information two here. When there's a word to join them, the start needs to have the word from. So from something to something else. Okay? Dash the purpose and function of dreams are still not fully understood. Various theories suggest dash dreams may serve as a way dash processing and consolidating information. Oh, it's quite a mouthful, so we'll go through one by one. So you can see that there are two different activities ongoing. The purpose and function is not fully understood, so this is activity number one. And you can see that there are many theories that are being used by people. This means that I will use the word wow to show the two different activities. Various theories suggest dash. So we are looking at the elaboration of the theories, which is suggest that dreams may serve as a way dash processing and consolidating info. So we are looking at how dreams here have a certain kind of relationship with our thinking. So we want to show this link or this relationship. We'll use the synonym. You use the preposition of. Okay. More often dash not. Dreams are forgotten shortly after waking up. So we are looking at this phrase, which means very commonly. Something is very common. So it's always more often than not. All right. The ability to remember dreams varies dash individuals. So when we have individuals here, this is actually referring to more than two people. So when we look at a range of people and they have different interpretations of dreams, we'll say the ability varies among individuals. Okay. Some people may recall vivid details, yet others may only have vague recollections, dash even no memory of their dreams or at all. So you can see that you have people with vague recollections. This is option number one. And there are people with no memory. This is option two. So we are saying there's either or. To show this difference in the options, we'll use the word J, or even no memory of their dreams at all. Okay? Dreams evoke a wide range of emotions in people and sometimes can be intense. Do you recall a recent dream you dash? What emotions did it trigger then? So we can see that this one, the recent dreams. this must be in the past tense. So instead of the dreams you have, it will be the dreams you had. Okay. With that, we have come to the end of our grammar cloaks. I'll just give everyone some time to take in the information before we move on to the next section. Okay. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at our editing section. Complaints about wild chickens in Singapore have been growing. Their dash is becoming a common sight in many neighborhoods. So we are not looking at how something is a verb, is existent, that means it's like present. We're looking at the noun, which is the existence. Okay. The residents dash reside in these neighborhoods are concerned dash the noise from the inconsiderate roosters at ungodly hours. So you see that the verb here, the action word is linked to your subject. So as what we explained earlier to yummy, it needs to be our subject personal pronoun, relative pronoun, which is who. Concern dash the noise. So you can see that this is the elaboration. So what are they concerned? What are they concerned about? Noise. So to show that the information at the back here is elaboration, we will use the word about. Okay, and inconsiderate is spelled wrongly, so this is how you spell it. The unwelcome crowing could start as early as 5 a.m., frustrating many residents as their sleep is often disrupted. So let's spell frustrating. And this is how you spell it. Even the dash sound could break the silence of the night. Okay, so we are looking at some kind of comparison here, right? And you can see the, so we are looking at superlative. So it will be the slightest sound could break the silence of the night. What more the resounding crows from the roosters. Another gripe that residents have is the unhygienic droppings the wild chicken leave everywhere. So let's spell unhygienic correctly. Those with young children are worried that their children will fall ill easily when they touch the droppings. So this ly at the back shows that it is happening as we speak. As they are, so we are not looking at their immune, we are looking at their immunity. Immune is a verb. Immune means you are not susceptible, you're not vulnerable to something. For example, you're not immune to this particular disease. Okay, so that's how we use the word. Though the wild chickens may have been a nuisance. In the affected neighborhoods, many of the residents are again the aggressive, spelling error again, culling of the chickens. Instead, they recommend that the chickens be caught and relocated to farms. Hopefully, the town councils can address this soon. And that's all for our editing. I'll just give everyone some time to take in the information before we move on to the next section. Okay? Alright, if there are no further questions, let's go on to our comprehension close. Pulau Ubin is the large stronghold of rustic village life in Singapore. To get dash, you need to take a bumboat from Changi Point Ferry Terminal. So we are looking at this particular place. So to get there, okay, at the dash of $4 per person per trip. So this is what you need to pay, which tells me that this is likely my cost of something. Okay. only a short boat ride away. The rural island will transport you to a dash time and place from modern Singapore. Over here, we have a special word from, and this would affect our answer in question 53. So we are looking at some kind of contrast, which means something is different. All right. There are various ways to appreciate the dash and sounds of Pulau Ubin. When you have sounds, the other word you need to use is sights. These come together to show the full audio visual experience of a place. These are the things you can hear and the things you can see. Okay. You can choose a self-guided tour where you decide how to discover the island at your own dash. So here, when you want to have a self-guided tour, that means you are overseeing the time of your own time. So this means that you can discover the island at your own time or your own pace. Pace, that means how fast you move, things like that. Okay, there's an element of you controlling time. Every month, M-Parks will run guided tours on Pulau Ubin. A trip to Pulau Ubin begins at the main jetty, Ubin Town, which is to the left of the jetty, is made dash of a cluster of wooden houses and buildings. So you are looking at these other raw materials that form your town. Okay, so when you want to tell people that these are the raw materials, you always say they are made up of a cluster of wooden houses and buildings. The small settlement consists of 2 dash of businesses, bicycle rental shops, and eateries. So you can see here that these are certain categories of things, the types of shops here, right? So you could say there are 2 types of businesses. You can say there are 2 categories of businesses. Okay, so we are looking at how to classify things. To rent bicycles, you can dash to do so at one of the many shops. So you see there are many shops, so you can exercise that kind of selection. So you can say I want this one or I want something else. So this means that you can choose to do so, or you can opt to do so at one of the many shops. Bike rental fees can vary from $10 to $30 for a full day rental. You can also rent bike helmets and bike locks. For a nostalgic trip back to an old-fashioned provisions shop, dash a visit to Yek Hong. For this question here, we are looking at how you want to go to a trip. That means you want to visit the place, right? So usually when you want to visit a place, the verb that they are looking for here for question 59 is you pay a visit to the place, all right? At this 100-year-old shop, you can dash up some snacks and drinks for your exploration of Pulau Ubin. So you see, when you have these snacks or drinks, you are basically just taking all these along with you as you go along your exploration. So this means you can pick up some of the snacks and drinks. Okay. Dash the center of the village is the wayang stage that was built in 1971. So we are looking at a particular place, which is the center of the village. So when we want to look at position, we'll say in the center of the village. It's the wayang stage. Okay, it's an essential part of the village social life, dash entertainment for residents. So you can see that this wayang stage allowed this to happen. They gave entertainment. So the a word will be to provide or providing entertainment for the residents. In the 1960s, it was even dashed as classrooms for the island's Binkiang school. So we are looking at how this wayang stage had many functions. So when you have functions, this means that the person must do something, an action word, which is they are even used as classrooms. Okay? And with that, we are done with our, oh sorry, we still have some more. Nature lovers may also wish to visit the sensory trail in Ubin Town, dash leaving the island. So you can see you want to visit first, then leave. Activity 1, activity 2. So you'll complete activity 1 before activity 2 because this one must come first in terms of your time. The sensory trail was first developed in 1995 for the visually handicapped to experience Ubin using their dash. So you can see they are visually handicapped, that means they cannot see. And over here, you already have the word sensory, that means they use their senses. Okay? And that will be your answer. Okay, I'll just leave it up and I will just say this is our compre close. Alright. If there are any questions, feel free to write them in the comment section. Okay, if there are no further questions, let's take a look at our synthesis. Tim was scolded. It was due to his mischief. So over here, this is a noun. But when you have a being, we need to have a verb after it. So mischief, we will change it to mischievous. So Tim was scolded for being mischievous. Okay. Now moving on. In getting help when she needed it, Julie showed her humility. So the fact that Julie got help when she needed it showed her humility. Why must we change this to got, which is in the past tense? Because over here, showed her humility. This is from the question. So we need to copy it down here, and we can't change the tense. That's why we change the whole sentence to past tense, not present tense. Okay. Now, question 68. I fell while running in the park just now. Brother told mother. So for this question here, we are looking at a reported speech. So we need to change some of the words. Fell needs to be one time period back, which is he had fallen running the park just now. Just now would be just then. And I had to change to he. So brother told mother that he had fallen while running in the park just then. Okay. Now, question 69 is a very common word form question. So explain here is a verb, action word. But when you have grace something, graces something, so we need a noun. So it will be her explanation. Okay. So Aunt Lucy not Grace's explanation of the situation. Okay. Now next thing is also this, a verb to a noun. So it will be Bob's improvement. And how do you describe it? Steady improvement in swimming. Earn him praises from his coach. Okay, and there we have it, our synthesis and transformation questions. I'll just give everyone some time to take in the information before we move on. Hello, Jin Zensong. Yes, people of the world 1, 2, 3. Yes, I am. All right, everybody. If there are no further questions, I thank you for joining me this afternoon on our Writers at Work TikTok Live. I'm teacher Nathan from Writers at Work. And if you would like to learn English with us every day, do check out our link in bio for the schedule of this week. Okay? If not, I'll see you guys on Sunday. All right? Goodbye.